Thank you for joining me for this edition of Buncombe Life. As you probably know, in November of this past year, we had some new folks elected to the Buncombe County Commission. We had Holly Jones, Ray Bailey, or K. Ray Bailey, and David Gant, who came on as a new chairman. I took a few minutes right before Christmas in December to sit down with them, ask them some questions like, why did you want to run for office? Why did you want to move up to be the chairman? And they gave me some really interesting answers. One theme I think you'll find running through this whole segment is that these folks love their community, they love this county, and they love people. So whether you voted for them or not, whether you agree with them or not, take a few minutes, sit back, relax, and listen to their hearts and learn about the folks that are going to represent you for the next 4 years in Buncombe County. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Holly Jones, who was just elected to the Buncombe County Commission in November. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And we're going to tell you all about her, and she's going to tell us about what she does. But first, I've just got to know, what made you decide to leave City Council and run for County Commissioner?
Right. I got that question a whole lot on the campaign trail. And basically, I'm a big believer in public service and feel like elected officials have a lot to contribute to our community going forward. And I had a great experience on City Council. But the areas that the county oversees in terms of health and human service, that's really what I know a lot about.
And that's different than the city.
Yeah, it's a totally different policy oversight. In the health and human service field, I have a daily experience with families that are struggling with many of those issues, and my educational background comes from that arena too. So I felt like, based on what I've learned about this community through my job and my educational background, that I might be able to contribute some positive ideas and energy around health and human service.
So you were willing to give up a sure thing with City Council and just make that step. So that's a pretty good.
Yeah.
You're dedicated to the community. And what they heard me say a few minutes ago was, I've never served with any commissioner who wasn't a public servant at heart.
Right.
They just love the community. So that's kind of what you did.
First and foremost,
stepped out of that. Well, you bring a lot of information to us on Buncombe County Commission from the city and I think a lot of folks at home, because I didn't realize this, that the city and the county are completely different in the groups of people they serve and what they do, the core services.
The core services are different, yeah, very different. And actually, I think the way that our community and other counties and cities have been set up is pretty efficient overall. I hope that we can, particularly in these hard economic times, look for more opportunities for partnerships and collaborations and possibly some efficiencies. But that's a dialogue we'll start and see what's possible. But yeah, there really are different purviews and doing good things in different realms.
Oh yeah, and we told the folks your background and come from public health and master's in public policy analysis.
Yes, I have an undergrad in
public. Heard of that?
Yes, undergrad is in public policy analysis from Chapel Hill. Which is part of why I'm interested in policy making, obviously. And then also went to Duke Divinity School and have a Master's of Divinity and decided to go a little bit deeper in public health too. So I've got a little mix going on.
Yeah. Now that Duke Divinity degree, you're not an ordained minister.
No, my background is from the United Methodist Church and have a relationship with them, worked in the mission field for a while. But I really feel that ministry happens out in the community as much as any place else. So no, I'm not ordained, but really appreciate that call to ministry, but my call was different.
And you've put that to work.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, now tell us a little bit about your family before I ask you. I'll save the big question to the end. Tell us a little bit about your family. I know you're married.
I am married to a wonderful man named Bob Falls, who has a small business here in town. And our anniversary is tomorrow. We'll be married 5 years.
5 years.
And so that's a wonderful gift in my life. He's a great supporter and was just fabulous during the campaign, but in pretty much anything that we delve into as a family. So we have a wonderful little girl, and she's a cutie pie. And she's in first grade and goes to public school at Isaac Dixon, and is all excited about Christmas and the new puppy and all that good stuff. So that's our little family here in Asheville. And I grew up, and my mom was a public school teacher, and my dad was a small town attorney in another part of the state, and my brother is a school teacher still in Anson County. So that's my
you're a North Carolina girl.
I'm a North Carolina girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a mom and a wife, and you hold a full-time job, and you're a county commissioner. That's a lot.
It's a lot. Busy days some days.
That's right. So I want you to tell us about the why and
Sure.
about what that does. But before we get to that, let me ask you this big question. Looking forward 4 years, what do you hope you can look back on and say, I've had a successful 4 years as a commission member, if that's happened?
Well, that's a great question, particularly right now because we're in such tricky times. I believe hopefully we will have a healthier economy, and we'll have facilitated some difficult times for people. We know that the requests for assistance are going up, and we want to help people through this hard time, but also build some opportunities for folks along the way. So I would hope our community would have more jobs. Obviously, that's not something one person would do alone, but that is something I know that our board is very concerned about. I would hope that we were very good fiscal stewards of the taxpayer dollar, and because I think the people writing the checks for the taxes are struggling too. So. Obviously none of us have a crystal ball and know, what the right decisions will be made, but would really want to keep an eye on that fiscal accountability. And I think hopefully that there's some progress in terms of relationships in the community, particularly with other intergovernmental agencies. I think that would be a real plus, and I think we've got a lot of opportunity. To be more specific, in addition to being a good fiscal steward and better intergovernmental relations and a stronger economy, I would personally hope that we've found more opportunities to develop affordable housing, because I do believe that's one of the #1 issues in our community, and we've got to pick up the pace. So.
I agree. Do you hear this? This is a heart for the community. Public servant. You did well when you elected her. Now, I want you to tell us about the YWCA, because this is the job that you do.
Right.
This is your job.
This is my job. This is what I get up.
Yeah. So people have heard of the YWCA, I'm sure, but I don't think a lot of people know who that don't use it. They don't really know what's here.
What all goes on.
What does it do?
Well, I love talking about the YW. But beside my family, this is the thing that I love to talk about the most. Well, the first thing that I think is important for people to know to understand the YWCA is our mission. And our mission is the empowerment of women and the elimination of racism. And that's at the core of all our services. And we have different service blocks. We do a whole lot of child care. We have a wonderful child care center that serves a lot of low-income families. A lot of single mothers that are really struggling. We also have a very large after-school program with over 100 children come daily.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we pick up from, I think, 12 different schools across the county, and they come here, and we're really big on getting homework done and helping bridge the gap, particularly the achievement gap that they may not be where they need to be in school, and we'll work with the teachers to help get the right tutor and support to help that child if they're struggling in reading or they're struggling in math.
So you actually do help them. You work with the kids that you bring in here.
It's not just, they also have fun doing swimming and all that stuff, but it's really about academic, enrichment for and a lot of the kids are those that are on the edge. So that's a big thing of what we do. We also work with middle school and high schoolers with a after-school program that does a lot of in addition to the educational bridge that we like to facilitate, there's a lot of working around conflict resolution and helping those young people in a hard time make good choices about what they do in their free time and resolve conflict in a positive way. Begin to dream a little bit about what's after high school, and it is really huge. So, and we're really concerned about the dropout rate. So we work with those young people to help them stay in school. We also have a program. We have a lot of programs, and for teen moms that we're trying to help those teen moms, and that's one of those programs we're trying to work ourselves out of, because we all believe that that's not the best time to become a mom. However, many, hundreds of young people do in this community, so we're gonna facilitate that ending in the best way.
And they need support.
They need a lot of support. They also need to finish they need to finish high school. So it helps these young women know the resources that they need to be a better mom, because we'll match them up with mentors. But they also are encouraged and really pushed to graduate from high school, because we know that that child's future is dependent on that mom getting out of high school. And that program has a great success rate. All the seniors that we've worked with have graduated. We have graduated. We have a 100% graduation rate with our senior teen moms. So we're really very proud of that. Just
that little bit of encouragement and support, and
it makes a huge difference. A huge difference. The thing that a lot of people think the most about when they hear the word YW is they think health and fitness, and we do have a great
swimming pool.
Swimming pool. Yep. Yeah. Half the people in the community learn to swim at the YWCA under the leadership of Jean Cole, who's still here. She's worked here for almost 30 years, so she's a great swim teacher. So we have a great pool, and we also have a great health and fitness center, and we've seen a lot of growth around that, because people are understanding the importance of wellness and being healthier as they age, and we're really working on that too.
So if anybody listening has heard something, you've talked about the YWCA, and they say, gosh, I didn't know you had a child care program, I didn't know you worked with teens. If they want to get into any of that as a volunteer or to get their kid into the program, they just need to contact the Y.
Absolutely. Yeah, they can contact us obviously via phone, or they can check out our website too.
And we'll put all that information on the screen for them.
That's great.
Great. Well, now, what have we not talked about that you want our folks at home to know? Anything?
You've really done a great job covering the high points. I'm very excited about this privilege of serving Buncombe County. It's such a beautiful community, and I know people think when you hear the word beautiful, they're thinking first and foremost about our mountains, but on the campaign trail, I met such beautiful people that love this place, and some have lived here all their lives, and their people have lived here all their lives, and some have maybe arrived 6 months ago. So I think we are very blessed to have such a wonderful citizenry, and I'm excited about being one of their elected officials and doing my part to take our community to a different level.
Oh, well, I'm excited to get to work with you.
Same here, Kathy.
Thank you, Holly, for doing this with us. And you need to stay tuned. Next, we're going to talk to Ray Bailey, who's new with this board, and see what made him want to run. So stay tuned. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. I'm here with Ray Bailey, who is a brand new Buncombe County Commissioner. Congratulations.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have him. But I want to let you know a little bit about him. We know, or I know, because I've done some cheat notes here, that you've lived in Buncombe County for 45 years.
I have.
But you're a native of Tennessee.
Tullahoma, Tennessee.
I was going to say, how in the world do you say that?
Tullahoma, and it's spelled Tullahoma.
Where is that?
70 miles south of Nashville, about 50 miles north of Huntsville, Alabama. Or, as I explained to some of my friends, it's 7 miles from the Jack Daniel Distillery, or about 4 miles from the George Nickel Distillery.
Okay, I get it, over there in Tennessee.
Over there in Tennessee.
So that's where you grew up?
That's where I grew up.
But you've been here so long, you're one of us.
Right.
Okay. And you were at AB Tech for 41 years.
41 years.
17 of those as president.
That's correct.
And you were the top vote getter. And I bet you a lot of that came because everybody knows you.
Well, I spent my first 3 years in Western North Carolina was at Clyde A. Irwin High School as a teacher and coach, and so met lots of people there. Proud of a lot of people who graduated from Irwin High School, such as Judge Ron Payne, who played basketball for me at Irwin High School. He's a fine young man. But after 3 years at Irwin High School, I had a contact with AB Tech, and the president had an interview with the president. He offered me a job, and at that time they had 3 little buildings and about 500 curriculum students, but they had responsibility for 17 Western North Carolina counties.
Really?
Everything from Beulah-Dean in Mitchell County to the Tennessee line in Cherokee County.
Now, you said they had 500 curriculum students.
Right.
Compared to now, they have?
This year they had 7,000 curriculum students.
7,000.
7,000, and in addition to that, they had about 19,000 continuing education students.
Good,
so the total student population at AB Tech right now is about 26,000.
So you saw it grow from when you began with them, 500, to way what it is now.
Right.
But you worked from just that you were in, where did you come into AB Tech as a?
I was the director of adult basic education for those 17 counties.
Okay.
And we had satellite centers in Marion and Clyde and Silva and Peachtree, or now near Murphy.
Yeah.
And we worked with those satellite centers, and then we had direct responsibility for about 7 counties. And we ran the adult high school diploma and the GED programs for all of those counties. And it was the first time that those kind of programs had really been offered to people in Western North Carolina. And so they were just, folks were coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
All of those satellite centers eventually became community colleges. AB Tech it certainly has grown, but they all still offer adult basic and GED programs.
So all those little seeds actually became their own community colleges.
And in addition to the seeds, the Malin Community College was established up in Spruce Pine, and Blue Ridge Community College over in Hendersonville.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
We were in on the formative years of community colleges in Western North Carolina.
You were. So you worked your way up all the way. I know you were vice president at one time. That's what you were when I was over
Well,
there.
I was for 2 years I was director of adult basic education, and then for just a few months I was responsible for working with industry. And then President Tom Simpson called me in one day, and he said he was looking for a business manager. And as I was sort of standing there looking at him and thinking about who might fill that position, he said, "I want you to be the business manager." And I said, "I will," because he offered me about $1,000 salary increase, which was a whole lot of money at that time.
Yeah.
So I became the business manager for the AB Tech Victoria Road campus, and that position transitioned to a VP for physical services and then a VP for administrative services. And then in 1990, the board selected me to be their 3rd president.
Yeah. And you retired in 2007.
August 1 of 2007.
And have not slowed down.
Well, I'm still on a number of community boards and committees, and
large number.
My intention is to reduce that number and slowly work myself out of being a community volunteer. And then I had a group of people who came and said, "Have you ever thought about running for county commissioner?" And I said, "No." "And would you consider that?" And I said, "No." And then I had another group later on that came and said the same thing. And so this went on for a few weeks, and I sat down and talked to Glenda and said, this may be an opportunity to continue to help this community in a different way than I've ever done before. And so I think she was a little displeased at first because we have all these grandiose travel plans, and last February we went with some friends to Mexico, and then we went on a trip to Europe, and now we have no plans to go anywhere. But I agreed to run for county commissioner, and I didn't realize that it was going to be such a long process.
Yeah.
We announced in December and started putting together a committee in January, filed in February, and then worked up until the primary on May 6th.
Yeah.
And then after the primary, and we were successful there, after that was over, then we took about a month off, and then we started working on general elections. So
it's a year process.
It's a long process. And then as soon as we were elected in November, then you called and said, we need to start doing these kind of things. Right. And so it's been nonstop ever since.
That's right.
But I really enjoy it. I like what I'm doing.
Oh, you're going to love it. I just want the folks at home to caught something you said, though. When you were considering a run for commissioner, it was not because there's any prestige in it, really. It's because you saw an opportunity to help the community in another way. And that's what you're going to see in a lot of these public servants, all the ones we're talking to today. You heard it with Holly. You heard it with Ray. You're going to hear it with David, I'm sure. It's just what's at your heart to help the community. It has to be. There's no other reason
my whole time at Irwin High School and all of my 41 years at AB Tech was trying to do things to help people better their lives. And I certainly think that both Irwin High School, and we did that, but especially at AB Tech, because we were giving people skills so they could become employable, change jobs, things that would better themselves and better their family. And I think that those 41 years were very, very productive. And I think that as a county commissioner, I can look at the issues and get all the information, always remembering that we're trying to make life better for people in Buncombe County, and that's a good way for us to do that.
And one thing, I just want to ask you a couple of things. And have you thought anything about when you look back and this term is over, what will make you happy to look back and say, well, I've done a good job if I've achieved that?
Well, I think that we've been able to develop policies that as we were talking, that makes life better for people, that gives people a good feeling about living in Buncombe County, and they in turn would want to give back to the community. I think that too often we all are thinking about ourselves and not thinking about other people, and I think that collectively that we can do a lot to make this a better place to live.
No, I think that's a great answer. One more thing, let's let the folks at home know, you are the voice of the Rockets.
I am.
Are you going to continue to be the voice of the Rockets?
Until they tell me I shouldn't be, I guess. I can't remember when I started. Lloyd Thompson was a long time voice of the Rockets, and he became seriously ill, and so they asked me to help, and I did, and soon I was the only person there, and I've been doing, I guess, 15 or 16 years or something, maybe longer.
I think that's
but I enjoy that's a great thing to do on Friday night. People are excited about Reynolds football. It's a great program, great people at that high school, and so living in the community, I want to give back to them. And so I'll do it for a while longer. Then we'll see.
Okay, just wanted to make sure nobody thought that was one of those things you were going to give up.
Not yet.
Okay, good. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to me.
Enjoy working with you.
Yeah, looking forward to these 4 years.
Right, so am I.
Okay.
Good.
Stay tuned. We're going to talk to David next. I hope you've seen what we've already talked about, because we've talked to some very interesting people. Our new Holly Jones, our new Ray Bailey. And this is not necessarily a new face I'm talking to. Right now, you've seen David Gant before. If you've tuned into any of our commissioner meeting, if you're a resident of Buncombe County at all, you know this guy. He even does commercials. You've probably seen his commercials. But he's got a new job. He's the chairman of the county commissioners. Thank you, David, for sitting down with me for a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Kathy. Thanks for doing this.
Just for those of you who don't know David and haven't become familiar with him, I want to ask you just a few questions. You've been a commissioner since '96, and we were just saying that sounds like yesterday, but it's really not. That's a while. That's
too long for some people. But it seems like it's a fast time. It sure does.
It's gone by, yeah, just really fast. But yet it seems like, I was just saying, I can't remember when you weren't one of us. Weren't a commissioner. It's been a great time. We've had a good time together.
We have had a good time. And we'll have a good time the next 4 years.
That's right. But where'd you come from? You haven't always lived in Buncombe County.
No, when I was a child, I lived in Spruce Pine, and we moved to Sanford near Fayetteville and that's where I grew up.
I didn't even know that.
As soon as I got out of law school, the day I left Raleigh, I took the state bar exam there. It was 100 degrees. And we had the U-Haul waiting. My wife, Charisse, who I've been married to for 29 years, was waiting for me. We got in the U-Haul, came up Old Fort Mountain. It was 70 degrees. And I said, yeah, this is the right place to be. So it was a good choice, and we've lived here for 29 years. 29
years. So you guys have been married for 29 years. And you've got 2 kids.
2 grown kids. One's my son Brett's married, and my daughter Carrie is a senior in college.
Wow. Okay. So you've been here long enough, again, to be one of us.
Well, my kids went to school at T.C. Robertson. I was honored to be the PTA president out at Glenard when they were growing up, and in the Rams Club and Santa Pal. So it's been a great experience. The community's given me a lot. When I moved here, I didn't know a soul in town. And I literally practiced out of the back of my car because I didn't have an office. I didn't have any money. I've just been blessed by this community, and that's one reason I wanted to get involved in politics, to give some of that back.
And you're an attorney. You've got an office over on Church Street.
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of law do you do?
I do accident cases when people get hurt in car wrecks, when people get hurt at work, and then I do Social Security disability cases when people can't work at all. So mainly dealing with injured and disabled people.
You talk to a lot of people, deal with a lot of people, in touch with the community.
I do. I don't represent any companies, any corporations. It's all working people. So all day I have a dream job. I get to help people that I like and help people that maybe couldn't help themselves or don't know how to do it. And I just love it. I love what I do, and I love being a commissioner, and I'm going to love being chairman. I'm just blessed to do that.
There's a reoccurring theme here. When we talked to Holly on the first day, we heard, I've got a heart for the people. I want to help the people. When we talked to Ray, he said the same thing. I spent 41 years at the community college, heart for the people. What did we just hear you say? I've got a dream job. I work with the people. I've got a heart. That's the public servant, and that's who runs for office.
Well, you're right, and the commissioners we have now, Holly, Ray, Bill, and Carol, I just can't think of 4 people that I'd rather serve with that care about people, that want to do the right thing, that don't care about politics. They're interested in doing the right thing regardless of where the chips fall, and I think they believe this where the buck stops here situation, and that's on the front of my desk, and I think everybody on the commission believes in that.
Now, last year, you decided, I'm going to jump. I'm going to jump from commissioner. I'm going to run for chairman. What inspired you to do that? Well,
I felt I liked Nathan. I liked our past chairman. Nathan Ramsey's a wonderful man. I went to his wedding. I consider him a friend. But I felt that we were missing some opportunities. I felt that maybe some big picture vision and ideas weren't getting fulfilled. And I thought it was time for a change in leadership, and that's why I ran. It certainly was nothing personal with him, and again, I consider him a friend, but we just have some different philosophies on some key issues, and that's why I ran, and I was lucky to be elected.
Now and I've asked all of them this, all 3 new folks, 4 years from now, let's say you finish this term, and you look back, what would you like to say, gosh, we did that, and I'm proud of it?
Well, I think right now what overshadows everything is our economy. We've got to make sure that we keep the budget down and we take care of people that are having a hard time. So right now, short run, that's got to be the case. 4 years from now, I think the economy will pick back up. I think people will be back where they were. What I'd like to say is that we took care of these mountains. We took care of the people that couldn't fight for themselves. We took care of the children. We have the right schools. We have the right teachers. We have the right educational mix. People can get a job here. They don't have to leave Asheville. So we're not having people that can't find a job even though they want one. And finally, I'm hoping that we can have housing people can afford, and that we somehow work with builders and work with the real estate and development industry and people and get something that makes sense. Give them incentives to do it.
It'd be a new way to do it.
We're going to have to combine a lot of ways out there. I don't think there's a cookie cutter. Oh yeah, we forgot about this program number 106 that we could do. I think Buncombe County is unique. People want to live here. We want people to make money when they build, but we want them to respect the mountains, and we want to have some housing that young people and low-income people can live in.
Right. People graduating from high school can stay here.
Well, that's it. I mean, all of us face that when our kids graduate and finish. They want to come back here, most of them, and they can't get a good job. And again, we're part of that. We're not the only part of it, but government, business, individuals, we all have to work together.
And I know that you want to be approachable and you want people to contact you, but you're busy. You have got a full-time practice, you're involved in things out in the community, and then you're the chairman of the commissioners. So I just wanted to take just a second for you to tell folks, if they do want, you are approachable, you are available, but it may take a while to get you, but you will get back to them.
Well, I do have a busy practice. I'm the only lawyer in my office. But what we've decided to do is we're going to try to take every Tuesday. And we're going to block that day off to be commissioner, and we're going to try to schedule all we can there. I'm going to try to be as accessible as I can. I do a lot of court work, so when I'm in court, of course, I can't call people back. But people have a right to be in touch with you, and I'm going to be as accessible as I can be, and hope that we get back to people, and we will get back to people. I hope we get back to people when they need our help, because that's why they elected us, I think, is to be able to contact us and get with us when they need us.
Well, thank you, David, for just giving the folks just a glimpse at where you've come from, where you are, and where you hope this county's going. And is there anything you want to leave us with? Anything you want to say to the folks as we finish here?
I just want to thank people for the chance to represent you. That was a tough election, and a lot of people may have felt differently about the selection, but the election's over, and I'm going to represent everybody in Buncombe County, and I want you to tell me what your hopes and dreams and problems are, and I want you to feel that this county commission is very open to you and open to new ideas. I foresee us going out in the neighborhoods and having public meetings for folks. I think we're going to work more with other local governments, because there's 6 other municipalities within Buncombe County. I think we're going to work with them more than any commission's ever worked with them, because we want to get things done. I know all 4 of the other commissioners, and we're a very results-driven group. And it's not enough to show up and be there. We want to do things, and we want results. And I think that's what you're going to see out of this group. And I'm just glad to be part of it.
Yeah, thank you, David.
Thank you.
And you heard it. Public servants at heart. That's what you've got. They're approachable. Give them a call. Give us a call. We'll get you in touch with them, and you can be proud of your Buncombe County Commissioners. So, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned next month for Buncombe Live.